April 22nd, 1889, the cannon sounds, the land run begins. Marked a day of chaos, excitement, and utter confusion in Oklahoma history. Hi, my name is Cameron Rock, and this is my fun facts presentation about the Oklahoma Land Run. Today, I would like to inform you about the different groups who participated in the land run, specifically boomers and Sooners, and I would also like to give you information about the different modes of transportation that were used during the land run. Most people who participated in the land run were farmers. They were after that good Oklahoma soil, but today I want to talk about the boomers and Sooners. The term boomers can mean two different groups of people when it's related to Oklahoma. The first group of people are the participants of the boomer movement. They were white settlers who wanted the unassigned lands to be made available for settling and not just available to the Indian tribes. They supported their argument with the Homestead Act of 1862, which claimed that settlers could take up to 160 acres of land west of the Mississippi River. The second group of people who the term boomers refer to are people who waited for the line, or people who waited that line for the Oklahoma land run and waited for the cannon to go boom and actually started. They didn't cheat, they didn't try to skip ahead, they actually waited and played by the rules. The other group are the Sooners. The Sooners are the people who try to cheat the system. They try to get ahead, they tried to go the night before, a couple days before, and illegally claim land before they could. According to Mary Ann Beichwalk in her article Sooners, Sooners were originally called moonshiners, not because they made great whiskey, but because they went by the light of the moon a day or two before and then tried to sneak in before the gun actually went off. There was much conflict between boomers and Sooners. The boomers, the ones who were out ahead, the ones in the horses going fastest, they would get to a great plot of land to find it already being settled by someone else, when it's not possible. If they play by the rules, then they should be the first ones to that point. Litigation between boomers and Sooners continued well into the 20th century and was eventually resolved by the U.S. Department of the Interior. Next, I'd like to talk about the different modes of transportation that were actually used during the land run. There are many different types of transportation used, but the most common were horseback riding, people went in covered wagons, a few bold people actually went on foot, and some people took the Santa Fe Railroad. Horseback riding was the fastest, most efficient way to get to the good land. The people on horseback had an upper hand on all other people. But the only problem with riding a horse is it's hard to cross the untamed Canadian River. But overall, horseback riding was the most efficient way to get to the best land fastest. There were some people who rode in covered wagons. These were mostly families. They had all their belongings with them, and they were usually pulled by an old two or three horses or a mule. And these people had a disadvantage in speed when it came to getting to good land, but once they arrived, they had an upper hand because they had more tools with them and the resources to set up camp. A few bold settlers even went on foot. It may sound like a huge disadvantage running when all the horses and carriages are blowing past you, but according to John Reps, a professor at Cornell University, in his article The Rush to Oklahoma, settlers who went on foot were sometimes quite successful. In one case, one man ran 6 miles along the train tracks. It took him 60 minutes to get to his destination, but when he arrived, he got an extremely good plot of land. Other rushers who didn't have a horse or buggy or weren't bold enough to travel by foot took the Santa Fe Railroad. The railroad ran slow trains to accommodate these people and also to make it fair for the other rushers. According to Lucy Newman, author of the book The Lust for Land, there were 7,000 tickets sold for the trains on the land run. But when it came to it, there were actually 10,000 people packed in the cars trying to get land. There are many different modes of transportation, each unique and each had its own pros and cons. In conclusion, the Oklahoma land run was the most unique development of town foundings in world history. Towns like Guthrie went up overnight. Unbelievable instance. Overall, I hope I was able to leave you with a knowledge about the boomers and Sooners, about the different modes of transportation, and an overall greater understanding of the land run. Thank you.